What's going on, everybody? Nick here. Got a great system for you today where we're scraping YouTube videos. We are then going to be processing their transcripts. Then we're going to use AI to come up with new and interesting twists on that content before ultimately repurposing that into a bunch of different content formats, including Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. We're even going to create a new YouTube script based off all this. Let's do this thing. All right, so we're going to build this in a sec, but I want you guys to know that I haven't actually done this specific system before. I'm going to be building it alongside you live. So you're going to see the detours that I take along the way. You're going to see my thought processes narrated as an automation developer. And the reason why I do this is because I want people to see what an actual development process looks like. I don't just want them to see like the pretty final picture, so to speak. I think it's a lot more informative this way. So yeah, I have an idea of how I think the system is going to work, but I don't entirely know whether or not the system is going to work, and we're going to figure it out as we go along. Tobias here said, would something like this be possible for YouTube, meaning scrape transcripts of new released videos of channels we want to use as a starting point and then have it create posts off the material? So when he said that, my first thought was probably, and I spent about 5 minutes just thinking through how I'd do this. And here's what I've come up with. So this is just my tentative outline. I don't actually know 100% if this is going to make sense, but we're gonna figure it out as things go along. Usually what I'll do is I'll like start with some end goal in mind, and then I'll just work through 3 or 4 possible variations of how I might do it. This process takes me 5 minutes, and then, I end up with some list here. So what I'm thinking we're going to start with is we're going to scrape some YouTube videos, obviously, because that's going to be the data source. We're then going to get the transcript of the YouTube videos. And I don't actually know how I'm going to go from here to here, to be honest, because some scraping sources and some resources they use, they actually include the transcripts built in. Others have some sort of like buggy functionality here, and then others don't have that at all. So depending on which one we use, we may get the transcript. If not, we may actually have to like transcribe the text using some AI platform. What happens after is I'm thinking we're going to summarize the transcript, and then we're going to check the summary to see if the content fits our filters. So like, if we're creating content, or if we're curating content really to be repurposed on our own brands, it needs to fit our brand tone of voice. It needs to fit sort of the things that we talk about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up an AI prompt that looks at some examples of maybe past content that we've done, or I don't know, just like funnels the content and ensures that any new content that comes into this funnel or queue or database is going to be something that we would actually post. So that's going to be pretty cool. After we're done with that, we are going to store it in a database with a unique ID. The database in this case is just going to be a Google Sheet. So very straightforward. Anytime that you hear database, you can just basically replace it with like Google Sheet, and 99% of the time you're going to be fine. So that's what we're going to do next. And then if new, we're going to use AI to turn the transcripts into high quality structured posts for various platforms. I don't entirely know what platforms just yet, but I'm thinking we're probably going to do I just want like two fundamentally different kinds of platforms here so you guys could see. I'm thinking we're going to do some sort of like Twitter pre-drafting. I guess it's called X now. Or we'll also do something longer form. So maybe like LinkedIn. And then I think on top of that, and really this is just like to demonstrate the value of this, we're also going to generate like an outline for our own video. And I'm going to try experimenting with maybe like a script or something. I'm going to try experimenting with, and I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try having this model that I pass it through come up with something unique that it can add to this, because I don't just want it to be like a one-for-one sort of plagiarism thing. I've gotten a couple comments as to a few of my previous posts where people are like, well, is this just copying the guy's posts? And I think that's a reasonable claim to make. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't really care much for the morality or ethics behind repurposing publicly available Twitter posts. YouTube posts. People are going to copy shit anyway. You should see the number of people that have copied my videos. I'm not worried about that. This isn't like a moral thing. I just wanted to show you guys how to actually like make the content even better. Maybe add some new twists to it, add some value. And then after all is said and done, we're going to post these on our personal company pages. So this is what I think it's going to look like. This is not actually that complicated like of a flow, to be honest. We'll probably get this thing done in like half an hour to an hour, unless I am fundamentally misunderstanding something. But yeah, I'm just going to show you everything that I'm going to do along the way. So the very first step about scraping YouTube videos, there are a variety of ways that you can scrape YouTube videos. The way that I'm probably going to use, and if you watch my last 3 or 4 live builds, you're probably like, oh boy, what's he going to say next? Is it Apify? And yeah, it's going to be Apify. And I'm not saying this because I want you guys to only use Apify, just because it tends to have the vast majority of scrapers that I use for like this sort of content repurposing purpose. So Apify is a it's a scraping marketplace, which has hundreds of scrapers developed by mostly real, actual other people like you or I that do things like extract data from TikTok, get data from Instagram. In our case, we're going to be doing YouTube. So scrape videos from YouTube, scrape shorts, scrape comments. I've done the comment scraper as part of my approach. That's actually what I'm doing right now. Like I'm doing this video because I used a comment scraper to scrape my comments and then pass that through AI and tell me if this is something people wanted. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of different scrapers here that you can use for basically any purpose. And because it's a marketplace, people tend to compete on cost and stuff, which keeps it reasonably cheap for you. So I'm realizing this says LinkedIn Parasite system. Let's just go YouTube system. Must have duplicated that from a template. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to look for scrapers that are built, like pre-built for me rather than worrying about making my own. If I had to make my own, it might take way longer. It'd probably be dozens of steps here in terms of programming and rate limiting, and I need to, proxies and shit like that. Apify just takes care of all that stuff for you. So my go-to, anytime I have a new scraping project, just start with something that's pre-built. If it does 90% of the job for you, that's probably sufficient. So I'm just going to open up like 3 or 4 of these. And the reason why is because I just want to see, I guess we want the video scraper, right? I want to see, we got a caption scraper. That's perfect. If I can just get something low cost, I want to like compare these with each other. Okay, this one gets the transcript. That's perfect. If we can get the transcript from videos, we are freaking balling here. Ooh, that one looks cool. Topaz Sharingan, my Naruto bros. Okay, cool. Let's double check this. So this is a YouTube script. You pay $5 for 1,000 videos. So what do you get? You get videos, titles, description, metadata. That might include the transcript. I don't know. I'm just going to Command F and type transcript. I'm not seeing anything here. So I'm just going to go to my next tab. Then I'm going to type in transcript again. I'm not seeing anything. There's a short scraper, so that makes sense. I clicked the wrong one. This is subtitles, caption scraper, transcript. Okay, I see one over here too. I'm going to give it a click. This looks like a subtitle right here. So this looks like workable. Author, Apify, video description. So are these different videos? If these are different videos, then yeah. Are these all but these are all the same. Oh, you know what? It scrapes one video, but then it has all of the subtitles here. Okay, well, I mean, this is workable. Like we might be able to work it, and it's like $15 a month. So if this works, we are golden. Okay. Video URL or ID. So I guess actually, if you think about it, we kind of have to go back one step. We have to get a list of videos that we want to scrape, right? So not actually just the transcript. So my system's going to have to be a little bit more complicated. Let's just do like let's do a step 0 here. Where we scrape list of videos to scrape. And then I'm just going to drag that, stick that on top here. And did kind of fuck with my whole perfect flow there. Cool. So we are actually gonna have to get like a list of videos now that I think about it. Dumb. But anyway, from here, looks like we have 3 or 4 scrapers we could use. I'm just gonna jump into like whatever one. And then see how things go. All of these cost a little bit of money. I think I'm probably just going to start with, sorry, there was a transcript here, right? No, so I guess I'm going to start with, we just have to make a call. So this one's to try it free, no credit card required. I don't know if it's 100% actually free, but I'm just going to give that a try. And the very first thing I want to do is I just want to verify whether or not this actually can generate a, video transcript. So hold on one sec, because my video is going to play when I go on my channel. All right, sweet, I stopped it. 2 me's would be too much. And for the purpose of this, why don't I just get like a shorter video? I don't want to get, let's do this one back before I understood how Headspace worked. So I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna get the share link. I'm just gonna open this up in a new tab, but I'm going to turn all of my audio down. Hopefully this doesn't play. And the reason why I did that is, you saw how the link changed there at the end, right? So YouTube uses different links for sharing versus, which tab am I in? This one here, versus actually playing. Okay, so now that this is ready, I'm just going to give this a go, and we're just going to see if we can scrape the transcript. Generally, I always like to start with like the core data that I'm going to be manipulating. In this case, it's obviously going to be the transcript. So we just wanted to double check and see whether or not the transcript can actually be scraped with this actor. If so, then we'll continue using it. If not, then we won't. So I'm seeing a bunch of Cyrillic. So Poluchin Novo Zapros. So I don't know. I imagine this is Russian. My Russian ain't so good. I think this is basically just telling us that we can't because there's some problems. So this actor is probably not going to work. Let's move on to another one here. Video subtitles caption scraper. I'm going to try this one for free, it says. I'm going to delete. Oh, and it's cool that we can feed in a list of videos here. It's going to be helpful. Language optional. Can we just do auto? Yeah, no, I think we're just going to do EN. We're going to fetch the auto-generated ones because that's totally fine for us. And then I'm going to paste this in and we're going to click start. It's going to tell me that I have to rent this. We get 2 free days, so it's not going to cost me $1 to do this. So I'm just going to go OK, and then save and start. Let's see what sort of data we get from this actor. And that will inform us as to how we're going to proceed with the rest of this. Now, because it's one, video, this should run reasonably quickly. You can see I'm also being billed for usage. So I've been billed 0.2 cents, 0.3 cents so far. A good way to see if the actor is actually working is just going to the log and just seeing if there's tons of issues and errors here. So I'm not seeing any issues. I'm going to go back to output. Don't know what happened there. Okay, yeah, great. Okay, now we have, good God, this thing's huge. Can we just get like one thing with the whole frickin', no, we can't. That's sort of silly. I mean, ideally we just get one thing with the whole transcript, but this is giving us like the line by line. It's not that big of a deal. We could just join the whole thing into a script in Make, which is the platform we're obviously going to be using. So yeah, it's not that big of a deal. I think I'm just going to run with this for now. Now I'm going to put this into Make. So I just want to verify, okay, we have the data in Apify. Can we get this data to my no-code platform? Because my no-code platform is going to, I'm just going to call this like YouTube scraping system. Because, it's one thing to have it in Apify. It's another thing to like actually be able to automate it. So to do this, I'm going to go to get dataset items under the Apify module. I'll go back to my Apify link. And then what I want is I want the storage tab and I want to copy the store ID here. Sorry, go to dataset, make sure this tab is dataset. Copy this dataset ID. Paste it in here. I'm going to sign into my, my account because I have multiple connections. And then I'm just going to return all of the things. So 100,000 just to be safe. I'll click run this module only. We're now connecting with Apify and we're getting this. So as you can see, this is quite big, like quite a lot of data, right? I mean, this is actually much bigger than I normally do. And it looks like for about a half-hour video, lovely rest of the day, bye-bye, we're already at, we're already returning like 900. So that's kind of annoying. But anyway, we obviously got the data. Now in my head, I'm thinking, okay, like why don't I just go and I see whether or not I can turn this into just one big transcript. It'll make it a lot easier for me to like feed this into ChatGPT. So I'm just going to say transcript. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to join all of these, hold on a second. Sorry, we can't actually do this because this is being output as multiple bundles, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So actually what we have to do first, we have to aggregate this to an array because the join feature is an array only function. So I'm going to go down here to array aggregator, drag that puppy in. The source module I'm going to set as get dataset items. And then for aggregated fields, really, if you think about it, I should just do everything because who knows if I'm going to need access to some of this data later. Okay, great. And then in set multiple variables, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to actually have to run this first to get the data. So we're looping through 1,000, and now we're going here. We've turned all this into an array, ideally with 905 entries. Cool. So we've just converted this into something more workable. Now what we need to do is we just need to map this array to extract only the thing that we want, which is the text. So I'm basically going to return a primitive array with only the text variable here. And so to show you guys what this looks like, if I run this again, we are now getting this big array with the whole transcript. And now that it looks like this, all we need to do is we just need to join this. So we need to connect all of the array elements and just stick it into one big string. And I'm just going to do so by using a space delimiter. So I'm going to click OK. Now I'm going to run it one more time. And let's see the output. It's just going to be one huge transcript, which is beautiful. Okay, so now there are a couple things that I'm thinking about. Like when I, And I'm not building the system linearly, by the way, right? We know that we're going to have a couple steps before, we're going to have a couple steps after. This is just the core steps, so it's the very first thing that I want to do. But if you think about it, I know that there's limited context windows for AI. So context window GPT currently. Sure, I've already searched this up, as you guys can see. Let's see what the context window is. Okay, so context length of GPT-4o is 128,000. Are these the maximum context windows? So for context, this stands for 128,000 tokens. Now, tokens to words. Looks like in English, a word is 1.3 tokens. So 128 divided by 1.3, it's about 98,000 words. Can I actually get this in characters, tokens to characters? It's probably simpler. Okay, 1 token is 4 characters in English. That seems pretty simple. 1 token is equal to 3/4 words. So 1 token is equal to 4 characters. So, sorry, so I guess I did the math. So 128,000 times 4 is about 500,000. So I just need to make sure that the inputs, if you think about it, are less than, like ideally it'd be way shorter than this, but I need to make sure that they're less than probably about half of this. Because I'd want the input to be no, never mind. Probably about 300,000, 400,000, I would say. The longer the the longer the prompt that I'm providing, obviously the more money it's going to cost me to do this big content summarization stuff. But that's sort of what's running through my head right now. Like, I don't want this to cost forever, like $1 billion billion. So what I want to do is I just want to get like, I want to get a feeling for how many characters this is so I can see. So this is 34,000 characters. So considering that my kind of token limit here is 512, like that's crazy, right? 512,000, 34. My video is half an hour and it's 34,000 characters. How long would a video really need to be if it were to make it to 512,000? Probably be stupid long. So actually, if you think about it, I don't actually need to do any funky special math here. I'm just going to like feed this whole thing in. Even if it's twice as long and it's 70,000 characters, I mean, it's still like 1/8, 1/7 of the total context window of the model. So it should be okay. It should understand everything that's being said. And we should be able to use this to convert this into some sort of content. Okay, with that out of the way, I'm going to go to OpenAI. And I'm going to create a completion here. And while I'm at it, why don't I just name some of these? So this is going to be concatenate into string. This is going to be, okay, and I'm going to want to generate a bunch of things here. If you think about it, like I have the opportunity here to generate not just like whether this is not just a summary, but I have the opportunity to generate like 4 or 5 different outputs. I could generate like a Twitter post, I could generate like a LinkedIn post, I could generate like a YouTube video script. So I want to do this in as intelligent a way as possible. And so what I'm thinking of doing is right now I'm thinking I will take this big, long concatenated string that I've just gotten as the transcript of the YouTube video, and I'm going to turn that into an outline. Now, this is a form of structured data that I can do a lot with. Once it's in an outline, I can then take this outline and then I could use it to recreate a post or to add new things to it. Speaking of adding new things, I think this is a good opportunity as well for AI to suggest some new topic ideas that we can combine. So why don't I just call this process transcript. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into my GPT-4 module, go to GPT-4o. Is O1 mini really fast? I don't actually know which one's smarter. Maybe we'll try O1 mini for today. Then I'm going to go in messages. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a system prompt that says you are a helpful, intelligent writing assistant. This is just how the model is going to identify. So I'm saying, hey, your identity is a helpful, intelligent writing assistant. If you think about it logically, this is sort of like the number one place to steer the model. It's less important now, but let's say you are taking off at some, I don't know, this is like some big landmass here, and there's some port over here, okay? And you are in a ship. I should be able to make this text smaller. There you go. And, you are trying to get to some destination here. And in between you guys is a bunch of water. You want to go over here. If you think about it, I'm just going to write dest for short. This is my destiny. Okay. we're gonna go here. The angle of the direction that, like the direction that I go at the very beginning, is very important. If I'm off even like 1 degree here, I go in a completely different direction to if I'm here. Completely different direction than if I'm here. Completely different direction than if I'm here, right? This distance here might only be like 1 little degree, but then the result is I end up, let's say, like 500 kilometers away from my goal. So this is basically the system prompt. At the beginning of your prompt, you have the highest likelihood of making a decision and steering the model in the direction that you want to go. Okay. And this is sort of my idea behind, you want your model to be exactly what, you want to provide these instructions, and you want the model to identify as smart a model as humanly possible. So I say you're a helpful, intelligent writing assistant because that's what I want. I want it to be helpful. I want it to be intelligent. I'm sure there are better ways to optimize this. You probably can write some super crazy long system prompt, but this works for me in like 90% of cases, so it's what I'm rolling with. But that is just in a nutshell an explanation of what the system prompt works. I'm saying this because I've had a few comments and DMs and stuff being like, hey, what exactly does the system prompt do? The next is a user prompt. So this is where we give it the instructions. We should really just call this the instruction prompt instead of user. But anyway, we are generating content based on YouTube video transcripts. So I generally just give it some instructions, some context in my task. Then I say your task is to take as input a full transcript of a YouTube video, convert it, and output a variety of parameters. Let's say, I'll say summary, several paragraph summary of the key findings of the transcript. Outline, a detailed chapter heading, chapter style outline of the transcript written as if you were outlining a book. Suggestions. Three twists, or let's do 3 pieces of added value, 3 ways we could modify the content to improve it. Discuss different ideas, provide higher quality information, etc. And then social media posts. A Twitter post, Twitter car length, 280. I think it's going to be 280. A LinkedIn post, medium. Let's do 1,000 cars. And a YouTube script, long. Let's just do 10,000 cars. This looks reasonable. I will say that does not copy the original. That includes similar content as the transcript, but written differently. Let's just do that. Okay, and then let me just see if there are rules. We'll say write. I always do this because I don't like how AI tends to just write a bunch of bullshit and it goes super flamboyantly and everything's extravagant and amazing and dive and delve. I don't like that. So I like to say write in a casual but Spartan tone of voice, no frills. Output your response in JSON using this format. And now we're going to create the JSON format here. So I'm going to go summary, outline, and let's do markdown in ATX markdown format. Suggestions, and we're going to do an array of strings. and then social media posts. We'll go posts, and then I'm going to have an object where it is Twitter, LinkedIn, and then YouTube script. Should be good. Let me just double check that this is actual good JSON. The reason why I do this, even though it doesn't matter, is because I want the model to be as smart as possible. If it starts seeing some issues in the way that I'm giving it instructions on the JSON, then it'll probably be a lot less likely to do so. Okay, great. This looks pretty solid to me. Now I'm going to go to the prompts engineering again, and then go user one more time, and I'm just going to feed in the text array. And I just want to see what the output is. It's hard for you to obviously make suggestions or changes or anything like that if you don't know kind of like a core input. Last thing I'll do is I'll go to response format, click JSON object, parse JSON response. Very important, otherwise you're not going to get the text as an output as a JSON. And generally speaking, just some background on the prompt engineering side of things. I just like to be as straightforward and no bullshit as humanly possible. It looks like the system prompt is not supported with O and Mini. So I'm actually just going to go to GPT-4o. I'm not sure what this means. I don't really have the wherewithal to fix it. I'm going to go back to GPT-4o, and then we'll click OK. But yeah, I like to just be as plain and as no frills as humanly possible with this stuff. And another rule that I always like to think of is just try and get something on the page as quickly as humanly possible. Because if you don't, like if you make all of these assumptions in your head about whether it can output the transcript and the summary and blah, 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 you're usually going to end up being disappointed. So I'd rather just like know what the actual result is. Okay, so the JSON format looks good. Summary, outline, suggestions, post. That's nice. Summary. Cool. Outline. I'm going to need a much more detailed outline than this. If I'm going to want to generate content with this later, I'm going to want more detailed for sure. Suggestions. I don't like these suggestions. What I want is I want suggestions on the content. I don't want downloadable checklists or real life studies. Well, actually, I guess that's not that bad. This is technically still content suggestion. Expand on the theory with specific examples of successful upsells. Guess we could do that. My idea is I'm going to feed in the outline and the suggestions. And then I'm going to into another prompt, and I'm going to have it like create some better content. Okay. I don't like the Twitter posts. YouTube post is all right, I guess. Sorry, the LinkedIn post is all right. This is obviously a little limited in terms of length, but yeah, I don't really know how much value there is in generating a YouTube script, to be honest, but I just wanted to show you guys that you could generate multiple different types of content. Okay, well, let's tackle this one at a time. First of all, the summary. I don't like that it says in this video, blah, 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 Nick outlines, blah, blah, blah. I would prefer it just to say, I would prefer it to write, well, actually, I think I'd prefer it to write in the first person than the third person. So I've outlined a process for building effective no-brainer offers and sharing insights that help my agency reach this much money. Like if you're going to be, doing this content yourself, you don't need this level of summary. Then the outline, I want it to be a lot more detailed. Like I like this, but I want the, like the subheadings, the bullet points to be substantially more detailed than this. The suggestions, yeah, on second thought, these seem fine. And then the posts here, or the Twitter and the LinkedIn, I don't really like the way that they're written. So let's just go through these one at a time. We're going to try providing some more instructions. Okay, I'm going to say, write in a first person POV, or use a first person POV for everything. You are the creator. In ATX Markdown format, go into extreme levels of detail in your bullet points. You should be able to recreate the content from the outline. Most of the content using solely the outline. Let's try this. Suggestions: 3 ways we could modify the content to improve it. twists, different ideas. Areas. We could add more context, etc. Social media post, a Twitter post, a LinkedIn post. Post includes some. Write these. Do not sell. Don't add call to actions in these posts. Cool. This looks reasonable to me. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to compare the quality of GPT-4o to O1 as well. I'd be very curious to see whether O1 can do better, because this is like a multi-step prompt. There's a lot going on here. So if we can have it like output 3 or 4 chain of thought steps in between, I think it'd do much better. I'm going to change the temperature to 0.8 as well. Max completion tokens, I'm going to set to, can we do 8,192? Let's see. Let's try this one more time now. I'm about to sneeze. Nope. Nope. Got a handle on it. That is strength right there. That is some willpower. Okay. Now we have outputted everything written in first person. I think the outline should still have more detail. I think like definition of high leverage and automation, X, Y, and Z, like basically we should say what it is. But this is much better than before. And this is great. This summary is awesome. Let's just see what the suggestions look like. Implement more real-life case studies, explain more about automation tools and how they can be leveraged effectively, discuss common challenges faced when creating no-brainer offers and how to overcome them. I'm going to want this to be a little bit more unique, maybe even spicy. I'm not sure. Maybe if I use the word spicy, this will be better. Twists. Be unique. Be extremely unique and spicy. And what was my other issue with this? The outline. Don't just say, for instance, don't just say leverage. I discuss leverage. Say, I discuss leverage, the concept of multiplying your output through intelligently simple machines like automations can multiply your output through if constructed intelligently. Cool. All right. We're going to go okay here. I'm going to click run once, and we're going to look at this, and then I'm going to cross-compare this now with the output from GPT-01 as well. And I'm going to basically just see which one I like more. And whatever one I like more is just the one I'm going to move forward with. Cool. Summary. No changes there. Outline. Cool. Ooh, this is great. Nice. Yeah, okay. So this is done basically exactly what I wanted, right? So every heading now has like explanations of basically what they mean, look, it even gives me like a little formula for the risk minimization. That's great. Suggestions. Introduce a segment where I deconstruct a failed offer. Now this is great. Incorporate customer testimonials or case studies. Yeah, fine. Add a live demonstration setting up a no-brainer offer from scratch. Look at this. This is sweet. Okay, awesome. This is great. This is all right. I mean, the Twitter post's not perfect, but whatever. You can obviously spend as much time and energy as you want fleshing all of this stuff out. Cool. So now that we have this transcript, I'm just going to build out the rest of the kind of the middle part of the logic, which is we need to send this and put this somewhere, right? So I'm just going to go to Twitter, X, formerly Twitter, and then let's go create a post. Ooh, I'm going to have to create a connection here. That's pretty annoying. I don't remember how I did this before. Give me 1 second to think about this deeply. Okay, depth of thought completed. Why don't we go back here, jump over to Twitter, and what we need to do is we need an X developer account. Let's go over here. Set this puppy up. Cool. Then we need to create a custom application in X. Developer portal, sign up for a free account, describe and make use cases, select checkboxes, submit. I feel like I've already done that, right? Projects made. I think I did this forever ago. So why don't I actually just like rebuild all of this stuff for you guys? How do I delete this? Am I blind? These are my keys and tokens, right? But I don't actually want this. I just want to delete it so you guys could see how to put this together. Fascinating. I don't actually remember. Maybe I need to edit it. Ah, there we go. Delete app. Cool. Example app augs 12.10.04. Okay, so now we're going to go here. I'm going to click add app. I'm going to say, I don't know, tweet poster. No. Let's just make this really unique. Okay, now I have my API key secret bearer token. So I just wanted to double check. What do I actually need to make this happen? Client ID and client secret. So I don't think this is my client ID and client secret, but I'm just going to copy this. And why don't I just put this here in a set multiple variables module? Let's just go API key. And then I'll go API key secret. And then also go bearer token. Just in case I need it later, I just want to have it cached. Okay, and then app settings. Then user authentication, so setup. I want read and write and direct message. I want automated apps and bots, I think. App info callback URL. This is interesting. I think I need like the Integromat callback URL. So let me just go to these instructions here. So I'm just going to copy the callback URL, paste this here, and this. So I need two actually. And then I'm going to add this, paste this in. Then I'll go back here, and then for website URL, copy this, paste this in. Well, the rest of the stuff looks pretty good. So I'm going to click yes. Okay, now I have the client ID and client secret. Okay, great. So now I'm going to go back to this module, create a connection, paste in the client ID, paste in the client secret, click save. Probably going to have to sign into Twitter now, I imagine. Yep, that's fine. Don't mind if I do. Do I remember what my Twitter password is? Hold on a sec. Twitter Nick Surratt. Okay, yeah, that's definitely that. It's gonna be a tough one, guys. Ah, sweet. I did actually, in fact, remember. BAUT and now we have the connection onto Twitter. Lovely. I feel like this is such a common question. Actually, I should probably like make a video just on this. Anyway, then we paste the text content of Twitter. There's some advanced settings here. I wonder what these are. Media IDs. So you can actually upload media and then link it. Place ID, direct message link. Oh, that's cool. Allowed to post exclusively for super followers only. Quote post ID. All right, we don't need any of that stuff. So then I'm going to say create X post. I'm going to go to LinkedIn, create a user text post here. And yeah, we do need a router if we're going to do this. I'm already connected, but the authentication is a lot easier. You just click add and then you connect your account. The post in this case will be LinkedIn. And then, you know what? I also want to upload my script somewhere. So I'm going to go Google Docs. I'll go create a document. And I'm going to want to upload this YouTube script. Let's call it YouTube script. What I need is I want how to create no-brainer offer, which is going to be the first element. The content of this is just going to be this here. Did I write this as text? Yes, I did. Okay, great. And then the document location, I'm just going to do like the index here. That looks pretty solid. So now I have the X post being created. Then I have the LinkedIn post being created. Then I have the Google Doc being created. All good stuff. This Google Doc is going to contain the YouTube script, right? And I'm doing this just to show you guys that you can output basically whatever the hell you want here. If you wanted to make this higher quality content just for LinkedIn or just for Twitter or something, then spend a little bit of additional time doing so. And then why don't I also show you guys, if I were to build out the system, why don't I show you how to do the suggestions, improving the quality of the outline as well? Yeah, let's do that. So actually, just before I do this, why don't I go over here and add an additional prompt? And I will say upgrade transcript, maybe upgrade outline, upgrade content, upgrade outline. And now that we have GPT-4o here, your helpful intelligent writing assistant, we're generating high quality content based on YouTube video transcripts. Your task is to take as input an outline for a YouTube video, and then implement the provided suggestions to make it significantly more detailed. Okay, great. Rules, write in a casual but spurred tone of voice, no frills. Use a first-person POV for everything. You are the creator. I don't think we need this anymore. Output your response in JSON. You'll be provided a list of 3 suggestions and the outline. Modify the outline, leaving as much of it the same as you can. No. Modify the outline and add detail. Output your response in JSON using this format. We'll go modified outline. Keep the outline in Markdown ATX format. Modified outline will be here. And then, yeah, I should be good. I'm going to go and now feed in the suggestions. And then I just have to reproduce this, unfortunately. So I'm going to feed in, actually, let's do the outline first. Then after that, I'm going to go suggestions. It's an array with 3 elements. The first element is this, 1. The second element is this, 2. And the third element is this, 3. And then we're going to keep the output as JSON, parse JSON response, max solution tokens, fine, whatever. All right, sweet. Okay, great. And yeah, I'm realizing I'm doing this sort of backwards because now I'm upgrading the outline. But I just wanted to show you guys what this looks like in practice. First, we have to process the transcript, get the suggestions, then we have to upgrade the outline, right? This is sort of like a more dynamic kind of loop. We are getting it to create suggestions on the content and then feeding those suggestions back in alongside the content. You can do this arbitrarily as many times as you want, just to like get new twists on the content. Cool. Wow, this is much more detailed now. Nice. Oh, this is great. Sweet. So now we also have like a core piece of content that we could like, leading into upsells, example offers. We have a core piece of content now that we can actually like modify and do other stuff with. Like if you think about it, what we could do is after we process the transcript and then upgrade the outline, we could actually use another GPT call and use that to create new content for X and LinkedIn and Google Docs as well. I guess in this case, I was just trying to show you guys how to like generate said text. But if we're going to be going all this way, then we should totally upgrade all of this. So actually what I should do here is I should now generate content. And then what I'm actually going to do is this first step here, I'm just going to make it a lot simpler. I'm not going to feed in the social media posts. I'm going to actually generate the social media posts based off of this. So I'm going to get rid of that. We're just going to get rid of the post object completely. It's going to make it a lot simpler. And I think the summary is still useful, so I'm going to keep it. We might need it at some point in the future, and I don't know, it costs very minimally. Cool. Then upgrade the outline. Then we're going to generate social media posts. Beautiful. And then I'm now going to feed this instruction in. We are generating high quality content based on content for social media platforms based on a provided outline. I will say your task is to take as input an outline. And then, actually, let's just paste this in. And then produce social media posts for Twitter, LinkedIn. Why don't we just do more? Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. What else do we got, really? What are the other major social media platforms? Instagram, I guess. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. and LinkedIn, as well as a YouTube script. And then for rules, I'll go, and I'm actually just going to have ChatGPT help me with this. I just held Option, press space, and I'm using ChatGPT, which is a desktop application on macOS. I'm adding specs and guidelines for social media generation, post generation. I know Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Modify the below post to include Facebook and Instagram as well. I'm not doing this because I necessarily would have. Like in practice, I just wanted to show you guys how I tend to use large language models and AI in my own work. So I basically, I'm writing a prompt for an AI using an AI now, right? Okay, no frills, cool. I'll put your response in JSON, and we'll go, let me see here. Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. Oh, I shouldn't be capitalizing these either. You generally don't want to capitalize the first character of a variable. YouTube script. I think this should be good. Anything I'm missing? LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter? No, I think that's fine. Medium, visually engaging. Design to pair? No, we're okay. Okay. YouTube script including a YouTube script that breaks down the outline in detail, and then I'll say, write in the first person POV. You are the creator. Okay. Awesome. So now we're actually going to generate these social media posts. We're going to feed those in. And we're chaining 3 prompts together here, right? So the first AI model does something to the transcript. The second one grabs the outline and the thing that we just did, uses it to upgrade the outline. And then the third takes the outline and uses it to generate a bunch of high quality social media posts, presumably high quality social media posts that are now pre-drafted for us to go in there and do stuff with. Yeah, so now I need to basically flesh out like the database logic and stuff. And I'm not actually going to leave the posting part for the very end, just to show you guys that you could automatically post this if you wanted to, but I'm probably not going to. I'm just going to create a big database to store all the stuff, and then whoever wants to can do whatever they want with it. Okay, and it looks like the result is out. Cool. This is pretty, I don't know how I feel about the star. LinkedIn, Facebook, cool. And then long YouTube post. Okay, ideally we'd have way, way longer of a YouTube script, so. You know what I could do if I really wanted like a super long YouTube script? I could go through the outline chapter by chapter. Then at the very end, I could feed in, I think I should do that. I think I should split this based off of headings, and then I should feed in the whole thing and just tell it to like remove any repetition. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do. Okay, let's just make this way better. I mean, because right now the script is kind of trash, right? So I'm going to take this script. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this outline, and then I'm going to separate it based off the presence of these. So these 2 number signs. I'm going to have it write like a very detailed section for each. So one for introduction, one for high leverage key concept, one for understand the automation history, one for craft the no-brainer offer, leveraging templates, examples, blah, blah. I'm going to feed it in the summary of the post as well, just so it kind of gets the idea. And then after it's done with that, I'm going to pass the entire thing through GPT-4o and just say, hey, if there's any repetition or anything that sounds weird here because you're repeating the same thing from one section to the next, then let me know. But I don't think there will be. Let's do that instead of this. The YouTube script part is just not high quality at all. So I'm just going to add one more GPT-4 prompt. And yeah, we're not going to do the YouTube script. Let's remove this too. Let's generate. Generate YouTube script. What we are going to do is we're going to have to go to the iterator. Sorry, using the wrong one here. What we're going to feed in is we're going to split this outline, modified outline, based off the presence of this and then a space, I believe. This is going to turn this into a big array. We're building a no-brainer offer, and then we'll have the next section, the next section, the next section. And then I'm actually just going to cache this. I'm going to say outline. I'm actually just going to take as output the input of this section here, because I just want to run a bunch of tests on this very quickly. I don't want to have to use God knows how many operations in order to do so. So now I'm just going to unlink this, drag this puppy all the way over here. And then we're going to get your ass over there. And then I'm going to feed in the outline test variable instead. And let's see what happens. That's okay. So now we are iterating through, this is the first bundle, second bundle, third bundle, fourth bundle, fifth bundle, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. Cool. So now we have all of the text. Looks like we're just going to ignore that first one. So I'm going to feed it into the generate a YouTube script module now, like line by line. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the thing where it says bundle order position not equal to 1. I don't want that first bundle to get in. I just want all the other ones. So now we're going to generate YouTube script procedurally, like chapter by chapter. We're generating high quality content for social media platforms. We're generating a high quality YouTube script. Script for YouTube. Upcoming YouTube video titled, what is the upcoming YouTube video titled? Shit, I guess I don't have access to the rest of this. Let's just stick that here so I could finish this prompt. I need to click OK here to refresh the variables. If this ever happens to you, you can just click OK and give it a refresh. What is it going to be titled? Let's go as early as possible. There you go. I'm going to say we already have, we are doing this section by section. Your current section is, and then I'm going to feed in the section, which is this value. A summary of the entire video, so you have context, is, and then I'm going to feed in the summary variable here. Your task is to take as input this section. Your task is to produce an engaging script section. Piece of script for this section. Let's then do output in Markdown ATX format. Using H2s and H3s. Your first heading should be, and then we'll go the title of the section. Do not add CTAs. Section should be extremely in-depth and written in a casual but Spartan tone of voice. No frills. Write in the first person. And then let's just remove this and go output your response in JSON. Using this format, we'll go generated section. Cool. And then after, we're going to feed it through. So we're going to provide, actually, we don't actually need to provide anything. Yeah, because we already provided the text up here. So that looks pretty good. We do need to we need to cache the summary, unfortunately, because we're getting the summary from earlier. So I'm just going to save this, go back here, and just see like an earlier run. And it doesn't look like we have a single run here, really. Come on, man. Oh, yeah, we do. It's just lied to me. We'll go back here to one actual execution. I'm just going to grab the summary from this and just paste it in manually. Summary here. We'll go back to the diagram, and then I'll just use this as a test sample. Because if I didn't, then I just have to jump in there and change it all the time. Sorry, did I really not save my work? You're serious? Come on, man. Oh, seriously? I need to redo all this? No. Can I process a previous version? 1015? I think that's the brand. Ooh, no. That sucks. 1010? Ooh, that's terrible. Oh, I hope to God this has some inkling of my prompt. No, it does not. Okay, well, that's annoying. I'm going to have to rewrite this. I'm not going to include that part in the video, so I'm going to cut it out just for time purposes. Make.com, guys, not even once. Let's go to, what was the system called? YouTube scraping system, okay. History. Let's go to this fabled run, the one that screwed everything up. Process transcript, and what I'm sucking out of that is the summary. Cool. Now I'm going to go back here, close this, and voila, I still have everything in place. Thank you. Let's just use some standardized formatting here too. Okay, this looks good. We are going to grab the outline. We're going to iterate through it. We're going to generate a bunch of these. And then once I'm done generating a bunch of these, I'm going to concatenate them all back together with another set. Let's do set multiple variables. I don't know why I don't. There's no reason to just use the set variable module, really. You don't waste any ops, and it just allows you to recreate stuff anytime you want. Then I'll go concatenated script, and then I'm just going to join. Oh, sorry. Actually, I need to use an aggregator now. We'll go aggregator. Again, I'm just going to get the multiple bundles, and I'm just going to stick them into one. So the source is going to be the iterator. This is the thing that makes the multiple bundles, and then it just needs to be equivalent. I'm just going to select all the fields. And then here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to join the output. And unfortunately, we don't have access to it because we need to fix this first. So join. Oh, sorry. We need to map this array. We need to get result. But it's not enough for it to be the result. We need array.result. We need something called result generated script, I think. Let's just see. How did I word this? In order to map, you need to use the actual key name, not just what it thinks the key name is. Just delete this because we definitely don't need that. Result.generated section. Okay. Result.generated section. Then we need to join that. And I'm just going to join it with a new line. Okay. And let's go back here. Ensure everything is fine. I think so. Click OK. Then let's click run. Oh, what's going on here? We don't have the scheduler in the right place. There you go. Hold on. I'm still referencing something from a previous module, which is a problem. So I'm just going to make sure that I don't actually need this. Where am I referencing this? Oh, right. There we go. Okay. We iterated through. Cool. I'm now generating the text, generating the script, I should say. Much higher quality script than before. Like, I figure, guys, if you're going to do this, you might as well do it right. The value of doing it with this approach is GPT will usually have like a soft character or token limit output. So if you try and get it to output really long content, you're like, I want it to be really long. It might only generate you 500 words. And you're like, I want it to be longer. And it'll generate you like 100 extra ones. I want it to be really long. It'll only get you like 50. So this way what we're doing is we're basically just generating section by section. We're going pretty detailed. And then I'm just concatenating all of that stuff together at the end. After all of this is said and done, we're just going to have like a big chunk of text essentially. And then with that big chunk of text, we'll have like basically a full script. So if somebody wanted to teleprompter this, they could. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the script, the X post, the LinkedIn post, the Facebook post. I'm just going to dump it into a spreadsheet. So I'm going to go here to the Google Sheets, and then I'm just going to make my own. And we're just going to call this content database. Let's say YouTube scraped content database. If you think about it logically, we're going to need like a Twitter post. We're going to need like a Facebook post. We're going to need like a LinkedIn post. We're going to need like a YouTube script. I think we should just store all of these as their own Google Docs, to be honest, rather than just link the plain text here, because there might be some formatting or something, or I don't know, shareability reasons. It's probably what I'll do. What else did we have? We have Facebook. Oh, Instagram, right? Let's do this. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. Okay, cool. And while I was doing that, I did that because I wanted to make sure this could work. Now we have a very long script, right? Much, much longer. So why don't I just take the whole length of this really quickly? And then I'm just going to feed this into word counter and just see what the length of this is. 37,000 characters. So what I'm now going to do, I'm going to do one final GPT-4 call. I know it's quite a lot, but I'm going to do one final one, and I'm just going to say, remove any inconsistencies with the script. Like, hey, are there areas where I'm repeating myself? Because sometimes the model has access to very isolated information here, right? It can only see the section it should write plus a summary. So it might repeat itself a couple of times because it doesn't really know the context of the other ones. So I'm just going to say, smooth out script. I'm just going to call it that. And then here, I'm going to write another prompt. The prompt, your helpful intelligent writing assistant, we're generating a high quality script for an upcoming YouTube title, a video title, blank. I'll say, bring a YouTube video. I will say, however, our script was generated section by section. And so each section lacks context on the sections next, lacks the context of the wider script. Your task is to take as input the script and smooth out any inconsistencies, repetitions, or unnecessary sections. You will then output the response in Markdown ATX format. Cool. Now, leave all this out. Output your response in JSON. Let's say formatted script. And then I'm going to feed in my input. My input is going to be this giant ass concatenated script. And say, poorly or maybe disjointed script. When we do that, might be a little bit better. And then we'll say smooth script, clean script. I don't want to like give it a word that implies that it should chop it down a lot. Final script. Let's go rough draft script. Cool. Oh shit, maximum completion tokens. Fuck, I just realized I don't know if we'll actually be able to do this. GPT-4o, output length max, shit. For 8,000, output token limit, 4,096. 16,384. Ooh, man, that's probably not going to work. Well, wait a second. What was the word counter? 37,000. So 37,691 divided by 4, 9,197. Okay, actually, you know what? This is probably going to work on things up to about an hour long. Yeah, never mind. I take that back. Thank goodness. That would have sucked. Okay, let's actually run this now. And I don't want to have to do all this again. So what I'm actually going to do for my test is I'm just going to copy this whole thing in. Yeah, let's not actually run it on real data. Let's run it on cache data. That way I just don't have to wait and consume 8 trillion tokens, right? Okay, rough draft script. Boom. Okay. Let's go here. Drag this in. And see the final product. And then I'm just going to read it really quickly, ensure that it's like an okay script. It's not total shit. Hopefully it's not total trash. The fact that it's being output as JSON, I think it'll be all right. Whoa. No, that is not good. This is very, very, very short. That's not good at all. We don't want it to make any changes like this. We want it to just, rules, keep the script the same, only change something if it's unnecessary or repeated. The length, each section should look very similar. Your output should look very similar to your input with minor changes. Very minor changes. I'm going to feed it the input in, not as rough draft script. I'll go input script. Then we'll just go output script. Maybe this will help. Oh, you know what? Actually, sorry, it's probably my token limit. I set 8,192 token limit, right? Did I? Max completion tokens. Here we go. Maximum number of tokens to use. Low values may cause it to be truncated. High values may use a lot of OpenAI credit. Or reasoning models, such as the own models, value similar reasoning output tokens. 16,384. Is that it? I think so. Maybe explicitly saying 16,384 will help. Like if you think about it, my input here on word counter was 5,991 words. So I want something that's like probably 4,000 words or higher. I don't want anything shorter than that. Otherwise, probably illustrates that there was a major problem here. If I put 4,000 words, 4,000 words will be approximately equivalent to like 7,000 tokens or something. That's fine. And this will, as I mentioned, work on anything up to an hour. The fact that it's taken a really long time to generate is a really positive signal for us. It's telling us that like odds are it's generating a bunch of tokens right now, which is great. Crossing my fingers. I like what I'm hearing, or not. It's funny because I wanted this video to start off as, hey, you can very easily scrape Apify and then output a bunch of sections. And now halfway through this video, I'm like, wow, we could totally build like the most epic content generator with a very similar flow. And I'm thinking, I should probably update my content generator to be a little bit simpler and to employ strategies like this, as opposed to what I was doing before, which I was doing some very interesting like outline-based prompting with arrows and stuff. Okay, so now we're at that point now where it's getting so long that I'm starting to think that something weird is happening. I might be running into some upper token limit, or I don't know, might be rate limited, or maybe it's broken. Who knows? But that's taken a little too long. Definitely not a fan of how long this puppy's taken. Okay, result, output script. Much better. Much better. Okay, I'm just going to copy this. I'll go to my word counter. The input was 5,991 words, okay? The output was 5,989 words. Wow, we actually added some. Interesting. I'm going to be very clear about what the changes were. I'm going to go to diffchecker.com, paste in the changed text here. I'm going to paste in my original text here. And I'm going to find the differences. So it's removed a bunch of the same introduction sections, which is good. Why don't I just look at the removals? Removals are where it's at. So removals, this section here. What is the difference here? One lesson is that over-promising, under-delivering. I'm not seeing any changes here at all. Oh, or sorry, is it saying that they removed this in the... Yeah, sorry, I think they're saying they removed this in the output or something. Or maybe this did not have this. This had this and this didn't. Or are they just saying that they've added space? Strange. Yeah, I'm seeing very little change here. Yeah, so this is the stuff that I don't want. Welcome to this video, right? So that's not good. We don't want this. Doesn't look like my approach necessarily has worked, unfortunately. How can we fix this? Thinking out loud here. We could try a different model. So while I'm doing all of this, why don't I try a different model? Let's try one of those O1 models and see if we can, you know, just leverage smarter or more intelligence, basically. I think I want this one, the preview. And I'm going to run. Sorry, there's no system prompt in the O1s. I forgot about that. So I'm going to go back here, just really quickly remove the system prompt. Click run once again. Temperature does not support 0.8. Okay, all right. We got to go change a couple of other settings here because this model only has a response format type JSON object is not supported with this model. Okay. We'll go response format text. Let's just go empty, actually. What else? Let's just remove this JSON part. Okay, we got the result. Result is still pretty long, but it does look like we were truncated. We were cut off. Why were we truncated or cut off? I'm going to go, can we go back? I'm going to feed in the output. Then I'll also feed in the input. Oh, I fed it in as JSON too, which might have screwed things up a little bit. Okay. And then let's find the differences. Ooh, now this has a ton of differences. Oh, this is great. Wow. Oh, I get it. It added a whole new section at the beginning. Wow, this is way more intelligent. Wow. Oh man, it's even using the term leverage. Has some minor changes here. Yeah. Wow. This is great. It's like readjusted and moved things around. And it's removing a bunch of restatements of the same thing. Just completely removing things that we've like duplicated, which is what I wanted. Cool. Okay, well, listen, this is fantastic. The only issue is obviously this ends a little faster, right? Well, actually, I guess it just like removed it completely. We are really close to the ending. I don't know why it did that. Is this a token output issue? Let's paste in the 5,991. Sorry, that's the intro. Let's copy the, what am I copying here? Am I copying both of these things? The output's 5,008 words, 3,107. Oh, This is actually really close to the character limit, 3,176.9 divided by 4. It's about 8,192. So you know what I'm thinking? It's probably just caps out at 8,192. Damn, this is good though. This is what I want. Yeah, this is like an actual script that I'm thinking I could probably use on my own channel. Like that's how high quality it is. So like I don't use scripts or whatever, obviously, because I've just been yapping on and mumbling, but you could totally do something like this. Well, I guess what we need to do in order to make this work then is we just need to make sure that the output script is almost always less than 8,192 tokens, to be honest. So let me check O1 preview output token length. Oh, weird. 120,000 tokens for both O1 preview and O1 mini. 32,768 output tokens and 65,000 for O1 mini. I bet you if I used O1 mini, it would be stupider though, right? I mean, it has to be stupider. I'd imagine it's stupider. Man, how the hell are we going to solve that? That's beautiful. That's exactly what I wanted. Could I set the output length at double? Maybe it's just because I set the output length wrong. Maybe we'll do that. Yeah, let's just try this one more time. While that's generating and taking sweet ass time, let's just finish this database feature. Okay, so in order to do this, I'm just going to go back because make does not allow you to click into these other modules while we're running an execution. I'm just going to go back to a previous execution. I'm just going to pull all the data of that previous execution out. The idea being I need to get a bunch of headers of the data that I want. So I'm going to go to diagram, and then I'm going to go way back, probably like here, to see this get data set items Apify module. And it looks like we are outputting this information here. Video description, video keyword. So I'm just going to want to copy this, go here, and say generate a list, generate a list of CSV headings based on the key names here, copy and pasting into Sheets. Paste this in. It's now going to generate me a list. When this is done, I'll be able to copy this over to here. Why don't we do this? Hold on. Actually, let's just take this and paste this down here. Let's go over here and then go data, split text to columns. Then I'll go here and then paste this in. Then I'll make these the headers of my column, of my thing. Then we have Instagram post, Twitter post, Facebook post, LinkedIn post, YouTube script. YouTube script's the big boy. That's what I'm like, obviously it's the thing I care about the most because I've had a lot of fun putting this together so far. So I'm going to go enter and then just sort it like this. And then basically what I need to do is I need to create 4 Google Docs, one with the Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube script. And then I just need to add the Google Doc links right here, which is going to be straightforward. I don't need the text column now that I'm thinking about it. I don't need the duration column. I don't need the start column either. Author, yeah, video keywords, video description, video length, video title, video URL, video ID. Awesome. So everything else looks fine. Cool. And while I was doing that, this just finished operating. And it finished with the whole script. Oh, incredible. Yeah, I made it. Oh, nice. So it, must have been an issue with the output length. Maybe because it goes multiple times, it calculates it differently. I don't know, but this is great. This is exactly what I wanted. That's so cool. Oh man, it's moments like this that like I get genuinely impressed again with these models. It's been way too long. Whew. Okay. I'm going to now, let's see here, copy and paste this behemoth. And I'm going to add a sleep module over here because I know this is going to consume a ton of my tokens. So we're going to sleep for, let's say 5 seconds after we generate each YouTube script section. Even on the last one, it'll sleep for 5 seconds, then it'll feed it into OpenAI. Beautiful. And then once we're done with this, we're just going to create Google Docs, basically. I could create 4. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to use a router. Like I will create 4, but I'm just going to split it. So we're going to call this Instagram post. Or actually, let's feed in the title instead. Title's probably best to feed in. Title first. Instagram. The content of this output is going to be the Instagram. And then I guess we should make a Google Drive folder first, actually. So after this is done, let's create a folder. This folder is going to be generated here. I'm just going to generate a Google Drive right now called YouTube Content Scraper. I'm going to feed in this as the location of the folder. We're going to call this the title of the video. And then we are going to share this folder. The role will be reader. Yeah, screw it. Let's just share. No, we want a writer. Anyone. And then I'm going to now generate a Google Doc. The Google Doc will be specifically inside of this location. So new document location will be here. And then because I already have the title in the Google Drive folder, I don't need this. We'll just say Instagram. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing for Twitter. And then LinkedIn, and then Facebook, and then also my YouTube script. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to auto align these to make them prettier. And then I'm just going to go Twitter, Facebook. Oops, no need for me to clone that. My bad. Then LinkedIn, and then YouTube script. That's going to be the big boy. Awesome. Now that we have all that, all we need to do is just go in here and then change the variables. So this one was Instagram. I'm going to go Twitter. It's going to be Twitter. This one is going to be Facebook. This one is going to be LinkedIn. This one's going to be, oh, you know what? We can't actually do that with the YouTube because right before we do, we have to convert this into Markdown. So I'm going to go, sorry, we have to convert this from Markdown into HTML. So HTML to Markdown. There we go. Sorry, Markdown to HTML is what I wanted. Markdown to HTML. I can delete this. Then Markdown HTML, I'm going to feed in the Markdown of my mega post here. Beautiful. I'm going to get the HTML out of that. And then this is what I'm going to feed in as the text. And I'm realizing that I didn't change these titles. And this was Twitter. Okay. Now that most of this is done, we should have everything we need in order to actually run this on live, real content. Before this, I'm just going to feed in one more sleep module in between each of these for 5 seconds, because just given the sheer level of token usage, I have a feeling that I'm going to be running into some upper limits here. And then I need to run through and just change some of these variables. So where it says generate YouTube script, if you guys remember, I was using the wrong variable because I was just like using the same title. So I'm going to go back here to my title. Then I'm going to feed this in. We are doing this section by section. Our current section is value. Summary of the video is here. So I'm going to delete all of this and then put in the actual summary of the video, which was right here. That looks good. And then smooth out script here. I just fed in the whole script, right? So we can't actually do that. We actually have to go all the way down. Then I'm just going to feed in the whole input script. Where did I get the input script? I believe it was right here. right? Outline test variable or concatenated script. Yes, there we go. Now this will be on live data. And then am I using anything else that I don't have to be? Outline test variable, it's feeding in here. This outline test variable needs to be the modified outline. I think this is good, I believe. If it's not, then it's what it is. Okay, I'm going, ooh, you know what? No, hold on. Do not, nope, force the stop. Okay, one more thing we need to do. We need to add all of these posts, right? Logically. We need to add all these posts. And I think I just realized I'm not going to have access to these if I do it this way. Oh, that's so annoying. Yeah, sorry, we can't actually use this routing. We actually just have to do this in a straight line. Why? Because I need access to these links if I'm to use this to update a spreadsheet. So 1, 2, 3, even though it's not really as visually pretty. 4. We could also run like an incrementer function that just like goes through each of these. And then for 1, it goes Instagram. For 2, it goes another thing. For 3, it goes another thing. But I don't really want to do that. Okay, after we generate the YouTube script doc, now we're just going to go to Sheets. We're going to go add a row. Now I just need to connect this to this Google Sheet here. So I'm just going to copy in the ID. And I'm just going to enter manually because I know what all this is. We'll go Sheet 1. The column range is going to be A to Z. This is now going to have all of my values, every last one of my values. And then if you think about it, what was A? We go to my Google Sheet here. A was video ID. So I should just have all these variables like one for one here. So I'm going to go video ID. Video URL, title, length, description. Then video URL, title, length, description. Then I believe we had keywords, author, and then Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Yeah, keywords and then author. So I'm going to go one more time. I'm going to have to scroll all the way down here, go keywords. Because it's an array, I'm just going to join these keywords with a space. And then this last one here is going to be author. Looks like it's, yeah. And then after this, we just pull in all the data here. So Instagram, WebB link. Twitter, WebB link. Actually, I can just search up WebB link here and make my life easier. Facebook, LinkedIn, and then YouTube for column L. Awesome. Just check this. This is column L, right? Yes, it is. And I think we're off to the races here. I think we actually have everything. I don't know if this is going to work, but we have to run an end-to-end test to find out, right? So let's give it a go. Let us see what horrors our work has created. Cool. And yeah, so that's kind of that middle section there. The last thing that we need to do logically is we need to take, we basically need a method that pumps in a bunch of search URLs here. So outputs, you know, basically outputs a video transcript. So there are a variety of ways we can do this. I think what we should probably do is we should probably do the run inside of inside of Apify. And then by doing it inside of Apify, we'll just watch the actor runs here. Whenever the actor run is completed, then we will trigger the rest of this. I think for simplicity's sake, I believe we should just run this once. So we should run that YouTube transcript stuff just a single time. This finished really fast, so I'm kind of hesitant here. I don't know if this actually did my thing. It didn't, no. We're missing something here, unfortunately. The messages that I fed were just the introduction, that's all. Why? We only generated one? I don't understand. That would mean that in the outline, we... Oh, it just used single markdown. Shit. Let's think here. We split this based off the space, right? Okay, you know where it says modified outline, upgrade outline? We need to just like give it some clear directions. We just need to say output each chapter heading as an H2. Cool. There you go. Now we can run this puppy again. But anyway, you know, we did this with like the shitty short stuff. So let's just go through and make sure that everything else worked, even if the actual AI part didn't. Okay, I'm just going to make all of these a little bit bigger. So looks like we got all the data, all the fields are filled. Yeah, no problems there, actually. Cool. I am just going to reset the colors on this because when you deal with make.com and Google Sheets, and you add a row, it'll just copy the formatting on the previous one. And now that we've fixed that, I think this should probably be better. So we're going to run it again. And then basically what I'm thinking of is, you know, this run right here, right? YouTube video caption scraper. I think we should just feed it in one at a time. It'd probably be much simpler than if we do multiple. So what we should do is inside of make, there's a way to watch to see if an actor run is completed. So if it has completed, we'll then trigger the rest of our flow. We'll grab the default dataset ID. Excuse me. And then we will use that to trigger this beautiful, lovely sequence that I put together painstakingly. And then after that, we will, if you wanted to trigger this on multiple, what we do is we'd have a Google Sheet. The Google Sheet would have the video URLs, the videos you want processed. And then that database would run when you want it to. So you trigger the run manually, I imagine. So you just click start scenario, and then it'd go through and then trigger this flow for all of the rest of them. And then in that way, I think this would be the simplest to manage. And then we would just update and say processed at the very end. I think that's the way that we're going to do it. So for instance, this is sheet 1 here. This deals with the actual scrape content. We just go sheet 2, and then what we do is we go like YouTube video link. We go YouTube URL. And then status. Okay. So we just copy these two because these already have the formatting that I want. We'll just say video URL, and then we'll say processing status. When something is added to the sheet, you will say awaiting. When it is done, it will say processed. This will be the queue. And then we need another scenario. And this other scenario is going to be responsible for watching this and then running it. So we'll go, let's make this one number 1. Call this YouTube scraping system run scraper. This will go to our Google Sheet, search rows. It will search rows where, wrong one. It'll search rows where status is equal to processed. So we'll go spreadsheet ID, and then I'll go YouTube scraped content database. Sheet name will be sheet 2 for now. You know, you can make this whatever you want. Processing status must be equal to awaiting. Okay. Then we're only going to return URLs of YouTube videos like this one, let's say, that haven't been processed. This will then trigger an Apify module, which will run an actor. This has a red little circle next to it just because I don't really know, to be honest. This will now run said actor. We're going to do this using, I believe it was called the caption scraper. YouTube subtitles, was that what it was called? Let's double check. Genial candle stand, yeah. So we'll go genial candle stand. Integromat will wait until the actor run is finished. Maximum time for the run is 120 seconds. No, I don't really want it to wait. Input JSON. We need to grab the JSON form of this. So I'm just going to go JSON, copy that, move back here, and then paste this in. What I want, start URLs, is I want a single URL, and I want it to be the video URL. There we go. And you can set this to run on 15-minute intervals. You can set this to run whenever the hell you want. Oh, geez, there was some issue. Why? Where did this issue come from? Execution was requested. Fuck. You know what? I think by me modifying the title, I stopped the freaking run. Oh, that kills me. Okay, we're going to have to wait a while longer. Anyway, YouTube scraping system, run scraper. This will be watch runs and generate content. There. And then I'm just going to go over here and I'll go watch actor runs. This is what's going to feed into the module. And this is a webhook-based event, which will watch for the actor to finish the run. I believe this is the most efficient way to do this. I think that there's no more efficient way. When you want to add something, you fill out a form, maybe like a type form or something, and then it adds a new entry to this with youtube.com/whatever, awaiting. Then once it finishes running, you know, this triggers the Apify run. Once this finishes running, we then run through this whole sequence. And at the very, very end, what we do is we add a row to the first thing with all the information. But the second one, which is our queue, we'll search for a YouTube video URL equal to the initial YouTube video URL, and then we'll go to the processing status and then switch the status from awaiting to processed. So that way we have a queue here in sheet 2, which really should be sheet 1 if you think about it, but we did this backwards, that you add to, and then you have the actual like content generation side of the database, which actually like, you know, fills it in and stuff like that. Yeah, to me, this is the simplest way to do it. I think this is probably what I am going to do. For time reasons, I'm just going to stop the run. Well, I'm not going to stop the run. I'm going to stop the video, and then I'll just double back after we're done. Okay, looks like we are now wrapping up the generation. We smoothed out the script, generating all the documents here. Looks pretty solid. I'm liking this. Ooh, very cool. Nice. Anything gonna break? You know, it's very rare that my scenarios work on the first run like this. Good God. Oh boy, I'm kind of concerned now. Let's just remove this first entry. If you guys remember, that first one was just like from a previous run that was broken. Just open up our little content. It's going to do some alt-tabbing back here. Instagram content, Twitter content, Facebook content, LinkedIn content, and the frickin' YouTube script, which is 10 pages. Not bad. Not bad at all. Now, you can do a lot with this, a ton of things. You could take this content and then you could actually like write a whole chapter with this, as you guys could see. This is actually really detailed. You could automatically, I don't know, you could like completely AI generate this stuff if you wanted. Actually, the approach that I'm doing here, like you can use this to run faceless YouTube channels, to be clear. And I think a lot of people probably are. They generate things section by section by section. They have some script smoothed out like that. Average word per minute right now is about 150 or so. So this is like 25 minutes of just like constant speaking with an LLM. You could easily generate like very in detail 25-minute videos on it. But you know, for the purpose of this, I'm just assuming that like you're actually part of some content agency or something. And we're generating these posts here so that the people on the team just have like a rough draft that they can go off of, basically. And, you know, maybe somebody would touch up the script before it's published. I don't know. But anyway, the last thing we need to do is we just need to add that search rows module. Sorry, Google Sheets, search rows module. We want to search sheet 2. The reason why is we want to double check and basically see whether or not we have the link from the queue in the database. So sheet 2. What we're going to do is we're going to feed in video URL, and we'll just see if this video URL is equal to one of these very first variables forever ago, this one. If it is equal to, we're going to return it, okay? Now, assuming that we return it, all we then need to do is we just need to update this with sheets, update a row. Then all we need to do is we just need to get the same sheet, YouTube content scraper, update a row. Why is this doing it this way? This is weird. I'm not really sure what happened there. YouTube scrape content. Sorry, I think I was referencing a folder instead of a database. sheet 2, and then we just need to get the row number that we just output from search row, so row number, and we just change the processing status to processed. Now we have a queue, which watches tasks, and then we have the actual thing itself. And, we could do some other stuff. Like we could technically link this specific record to that if we wanted to. We could make it as complicated as we want, but I think I'll stop there because this video's already gone a lot longer than I initially thought it would. Yeah, so then processed. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to save this now. First, I'm going to connect my watch Apify runs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just change the dataset ID so that it's the default dataset ID from the first Apify watch actor. And then I'm going to save this, and I'll copy both of these over. And this will be the first blueprint, which actually fires off the scraper. So we'll do this. Then this will be the second one, which actually runs through the whole content generator, which looks freaking awesome to me. I'm pretty stoked about it. Cool. So that's that. I'm going to hopefully not cry myself to sleep with all of the tokens that I've been using. Obviously, this sort of approach is going to be pretty token intensive, right? We're generating a boatload of content. But I hope you guys see how nuanced the content is. It's not just like your typical cookie cutter AI BS, especially that last section, because we were using a much more advanced intelligent model to process the transcript. Another thing that I think is worthwhile pointing out here is just that we changed the content, like it's a little bit different from the original. You can play around with that all you want to get as detailed and new as possible. Like you could, I don't know, you could do a ton of things. You could like take the title of the video or maybe the summary and then feed it into Perplexity and say, hey, I want you to return some interesting data about this. And then you could have that data come in, and then you could feed it into your modification module and say, hey, I want you to change the outline based off of the results from this data. That might be useful for some sort of news application. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I had a lot of fun putting that system together. If you guys have any questions about this sort of system, feel free to drop them down below. If you have suggestions for future ones, I'd love to hear them. As you guys could tell, I'm getting a lot of my recent build requests directly from my audience. So it means a lot to me that you guys keep on providing the ideas, and I think I'll help sort of pay it forward by actually building them out. As long as it's just something that I haven't done before, I want to keep this reasonably new. Aside from that, if you could like, subscribe, do all that fun YouTube stuff, I'll catch you on the next one. Really appreciate your time. Cheers.